I can't breathe, I whispered, staring at my reflection. The dress was beautiful, ivory satin, hand-beaded lace, but it felt like a cage. You look stunning, Lana said, standing behind me, smoothing down the train. I didn't answer. Cold feet? She asked, trying to smile. I turned to her. Lana, do you think he loves me? She froze. What do you mean? Just answer me. She looked down. I think he respects you. That's not love. She stayed silent. I could see it in her eyes. She knew something. I walked past her, heels clicking against the marble. Where are you going? She called. I need air. I stepped into the hallway, heart racing. That's when I heard it. I don't love her? Never did. It was Ethan's voice, low, laughing. She's just convenient, he said to someone on the phone. After today, she'll stop asking questions. I'm doing this to keep her quiet. My body went numb. I pressed myself against the wall. She thinks I care, he continued. She's pathetic, always chasing. 8 years, and she still doesn't get it. I couldn't breathe. My vision blurred. You there? Lana's voice pulled me back. I turned to her slowly. He said I'm pathetic. Her mouth dropped open. You heard that? I did. My voice was calm, too calm. I didn't know he'd... She stopped. Lied. You knew. I stepped closer. How long have you known? She swallowed. I wanted to tell you, but your mom... My mom? My laugh was bitter. Of course. She said you needed stability, that Ethan was the right match. I almost smiled. Even if he despised me? She thought he'd change. He never will. I walked back into the bridal suite, pulled off the veil, tore it in half. What are you doing? Lana gasped. I'm leaving. You can't. I can, and I will. Your mother, she's not marrying him. I am. A knock at the door. Sweetheart, it's time, my mother called. I opened the door. She looked me up and down, stunned to see the veil gone. What are you doing? I'm not going through with it. What nonsense is this? I'm not marrying a man who doesn't love me. Her jaw clenched. We've spent months preparing, and I've spent years pretending. You're being dramatic. No, I'm finally being honest. Her voice dropped. You will walk down that aisle. I took a breath. No, I won't. She stared at me, then stormed off. Lana stood in the corner, silent. You should go too, I said. I'm sorry. I nodded. I know. I left the room, walking past the florals, past the shocked coordinator. Miss, the guests are seated. Let them stay seated. Outside, I felt the sun on my face. I pulled off the heels, walked barefoot down the gravel path. My phone buzzed. Ethan. Where the hell are you? I didn't answer. He called. Pick up, he snapped when I did. You're embarrassing yourself. I heard everything, I said. This morning. Your call. He went silent. Convenient? Pathetic? My voice cracked. That wasn't... He hesitated. You misunderstood. No, I said. I finally understood. You're making a mistake. No, I repeated, stronger. I made a mistake chasing someone who never wanted me. Silence. I'll ruin you, he said finally. You already did, I whispered. Then I hung up. I stood outside, wind in my hair, heart pounding. For the first time in years, I felt free. You're really not going back? Lana asked, sitting on the edge of my bed. I stared at the ceiling. No, not this time. She fiddled with the hem of her sleeve. Everyone's talking. Let them. You loved him. For 8 years. I thought I did, I said. Now I'm not even sure it was love. Maybe it was just habit. Or desperation. Lana didn't speak for a while. Then softly, he used you. I turned my head toward her. You knew about Sophie, didn't you? Her shoulders tensed. I didn't know everything, just rumors. And once, I saw them together, at a hotel. I blinked. You saw them? She nodded. I didn't want to believe it. And your mom told me not to stir things up. She said you'd break if you knew. I broke anyway, I whispered. Lana looked guilty. I should have told you. Why didn't you? She looked down. Because I was afraid of losing you too. Silence stretched between us. I gave him everything, I murmured. Time, love, loyalty. I even covered for him when he crashed his car drunk and begged me not to tell. I remember. I turned people against me just to defend him, even my grandmother. Lana looked up. She warned you. She did. She said, "Don't chase what runs, it's not yours." You never listened. I thought I could make him love me, I said, voice breaking. I thought if I stayed long enough, if I proved myself enough. He didn't deserve that. No, he didn't. But I wanted someone to choose me, even if I had to beg for it. Lana stood up, walked over, and sat beside me. I was wrong. I should have spoken up. I should have stood beside you, not behind your mother's shadow. I gave a small nod. We both made mistakes. A knock interrupted us. It was a delivery man. "Package for you, ma'am." I signed, confused. I hadn't ordered anything. Inside the box was a small envelope. No return address. I opened it and pulled out a picture, me and Ethan, years ago. Behind it, a note. "You were never meant to be a secret." S. S? I whispered. Lana leaned over. "Sophie." "I should burn it," I said, throwing it on the table. Maybe she's trying to gloat. Or maybe she wants to be seen now that I'm out of the way. I laughed bitterly. Let her have him. You sure? Yeah, let her feel what it's like to be invisible beside him. Let her spend years wondering why he won't look at her like he used to. Lana gave me a small smile. There you are. What? You sound like yourself again. Like the you before him? I looked at her, really looked. You still have that old journal I gave you? The one with the blue leather cover? I nodded. She dug through her bag and handed it over. I opened to a random page. My handwriting, messy and raw. I hope one day someone holds my hand not because they're told to, but because they want to. My throat tightened. I forgot I wrote that, I whispered. You were always deep, Lana said. I was always hurting, I replied. A few minutes passed. Then I asked, do you think I'll ever love again? She hesitated. Not like before. That sounds bad. No, she said gently. It's good. You'll never love blindly again. Next time, it'll be real. I'm scared. That means your heart's healing. I closed the journal and leaned back. Next time, I won't chase. Next time, Lana agreed. You'll choose. The knock at the door came just after sunset. I'll get it, Lana called from the kitchen. I stayed curled up on the couch, blanket wrapped around me, journal resting on my lap. Lana's voice hesitated. It's for you. I looked up. Who is it? She stepped aside, revealing a tall man in a navy coat holding a bouquet of white tulips. Hi, he said, a little nervous. I hope this isn't strange. My heart jumped. Caleb? He smiled. You remember. Of course I remember, I said, rising slowly. It's been, 4 years? 5, he corrected, stepping inside as Lana gave a polite excuse and disappeared into the hallway. You helped me once. I never forgot. I helped you file paperwork when you were late for your first pitch meeting, I said, piecing it together. You looked like you hadn't slept in a week. Because I hadn't, he laughed. But you were the only one who treated me like I mattered. I blinked at the flowers. Those for me? They are. Tulips mean new beginnings. Very poetic, I said softly. But why now? He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. My eyes widened. That's my letter, I breathed. Where did you get that? I found it outside the conference room that day. I kept it, thinking I'd give it back if I ever saw you again. You kept it for 5 years? I read it every time I needed to believe good people still existed. My hands shook as I took it from him. It was just a letter to myself, something I wrote when I felt invisible. I know, he said. That's why it meant everything. We stood in silence. I heard what happened, Caleb said gently, about the wedding. Let me guess. Public humiliation makes headlines. You walking away wasn't humiliating, he said firmly. It was brave. I looked down. I didn't feel brave. I felt broken. I know what it's like to be broken. but I also know what it's like to rebuild. I'm not ready for anything, I said, voice low. Not love, not risks, not another man. I didn't come here to pressure you, he said quickly. I came to offer something. What? A chance to feel seen, without earning it, without proving yourself. I stared at him, unsure what to say. You don't have to answer, he added. I just wanted you to know. Someone already sees the real you, the woman behind the silence. My chest tightened. You don't even know me anymore. I know you wanted love, the kind that stays. That was clear in your letter. That version of me died. Then let me meet the new one, he said. I'm not offering fireworks, just something quiet, real. I didn't know why the tears came then. Maybe it was his eyes, or the way he didn't try to fix me. He just stood there, steady. Stay, I whispered. Just for a little while? I will, he said, setting the flowers down gently. We sat on the floor with tea, and I asked him things I never asked Ethan, about his childhood, his fears, the scars beneath his skin. And he asked nothing of me, just listened. At one point he looked at me and said, "You're more than what you walked away from." I blinked slowly. Thank you. Later, as he stood to leave, he paused at the door. Can I see you again? I hesitated. Maybe? I'll take maybe. As the door closed behind him, Lana tiptoed out. You okay? I think so, I said. That was unexpected. I nodded. He brought my own words back to me. You smiled, a real one. It's been a while. She sat beside me. Do you trust him? No, I said, but I don't distrust him either. That's a start. I looked at the flowers, then back at the folded letter in my hand. My own handwriting stared back at me. I want to be loved without asking for it. I whispered aloud, maybe that's possible. The vineyard was quiet, peaceful in a way I hadn't felt in years. You didn't tell me it was this beautiful, I said, stepping out of the car. Caleb smiled. Some things are better shown than described. Rows of green stretched before us, kissed by golden sunlight. It smelled like earth and new beginnings. He offered his hand. Walk with me? I hesitated, then took it. We walked in silence at first, the breeze soft, our steps unhurried. I come here when I need to think, he said. My dad planted the first vine. I glanced at him. You talk about your family like you actually like them. I do, he chuckled. Mostly. We stopped under a tree near a small bench. Sit, he offered. I nodded. He waited until I settled before speaking again. You're quiet. I'm always quiet. No, you used to be quiet because you were scared. This feels different. I looked at the hills. I think I'm tired of everything. I get that. Do you? I asked, meeting his eyes. Because I gave someone years of my life and he used it like tissue paper. Do you get that kind of tired? Caleb didn't flinch. I do. Not in love, but in other ways. I sighed. Everyone keeps saying I was brave to leave, but I didn't feel brave. I felt humiliated. He leaned forward. Do you want to know what I saw? What? A woman who could have gone through with it, for the sake of appearances, but she didn't. She stood up mid-fall. I let out a breath. I was afraid no one saw me. I saw you, he said, even before you walked out. I blinked. You were there? In the back row. I was invited because our firms might merge. I stared at him. And you watched me run. No, he corrected. I watched you rise. Something in me softened, but I shook my head. It's too soon. I'm not asking for forever. Then what are you asking for? He paused. A chance to show you love that doesn't ask for pain first. I swallowed. You say that like it's easy. It's not. But it's worth trying. A moment passed. Then I asked, why me? You were the only one who looked at me like a person when I was a nobody, he said. You didn't laugh when I spilled coffee down my shirt or showed up with a torn presentation. You just helped. I almost smiled. That was 5 years ago. And I still remember the color of your blouse. Blue. Royal blue, he corrected. I looked down. I don't know if I have anything left to give. Then let me give for a while, he said. The wind rustled the leaves above us. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. I checked it and froze. Ethan. So this is how fast you move on? Tacky. I stared at the screen. Is it him? Caleb asked quietly. I nodded. He knows I'm with you. How? No idea. Maybe he still has people watching me. He looked serious. Are you okay? I clenched the phone, then tossed it in my bag. No, but I'm not running. We sat quietly until I whispered, why does he still get to affect me? Because it hurt, and healing isn't a light switch. I want it to be. He gently touched my hand. Don't rush your heart. I turned to him. Why are you so patient with me? Because you're worth it. I laughed, but it cracked. You don't even know the worst parts of me. I've seen enough to know the best parts, he said, and they're worth the wait. We stayed under that tree until the sun dipped low. Before we left, I whispered, this feels good. It should, he replied. Real love isn't a performance. Driving back, I watched the vineyard disappear in the rearview mirror and realized something I hadn't admitted before. I didn't miss Ethan. I missed who I thought he could be. I didn't expect to see Ethan's name trending. Lana burst into my room, phone in hand. You need to see this. I sat up. What now? She tossed me the phone. He's finished. I scanned the headline. CEO's affair exposed. Scandal hours before wedding. A video played. Ethan, Sophie, in a stairwell, laughing, kissing, dated the morning of our wedding. Oh my God, I whispered. Lana exhaled. It's everywhere. How did this get out? No clue, but karma's on fast forward. I set the phone down. My hands were shaking, but not from pain. Relief. It's over, I muttered. Lana sat beside me. People are turning on him. Sponsors are pulling out. His father released a statement denying all involvement. I blinked. He sold me out for power he couldn't even keep. She nodded slowly. It's all crumbling. I stared at the wall. I don't feel sorry for him. You shouldn't. I got up and walked to the window. Does he know it was me who leaked it? Did you? No, I said, but I wish I had. Later that day, my mother called. You've seen the news? I have, she sighed. I didn't know it was that bad. You did, I said. You just didn't want to believe it. I wanted you settled, safe. You wanted me silenced. I wanted what's best. No, I snapped. You wanted what looked best. Silence. You embarrassed our family, she said coldly. I saved myself, she scoffed. That boy Caleb, he's no Ethan. That's the point. You're throwing your life away for feelings. I threw away my life staying with Ethan. Now I'm reclaiming it. She hung up. I exhaled, then turned as my phone buzzed again. Unknown number? I answered. Of course it's you. Ethan's voice dripped through the line. Wrong number, I said flatly. Wait, just don't hang up. I said nothing. I didn't know it would go this far, he muttered. What did you expect? She was supposed to delete it. Sophie? I asked. He paused. Yeah. I almost laughed. She exposed you. Probably wanted attention. No, she wanted to make sure everyone saw you the way I finally do. I made a mistake, he said. No, Ethan. You made 1,000. You just finally got caught. I lost everything. And I lost myself for years. Welcome to the club. He hesitated. Do you think we could talk? No. Please, just one conversation. This is the conversation. I miss you. No, I said softly. You miss controlling me. The line went quiet. Then he hung up. I dropped the phone on the table and sank into the chair, heart pounding. Not from fear, but from the rush of finally standing tall. That evening, Caleb called. How are you holding up? He asked. Stronger than I thought I'd be. You've always been stronger than you thought. I smiled. Can I ask you something? Anything. Why did you hire me? He paused. because you needed a new start, and because I needed someone who's walked through fire and still knows how to be kind. I'm not sure I'm that person anymore. You are. You just stopped setting yourself on fire for other people. I like that, I murmured. That's exactly what it was. I have a meeting tomorrow. Want to come? As what? As yourself, he said. Sit in. Observe. Decide what you want. I'd like that. Oh, and one more thing, Caleb added. You weren't the one exposed in that video. That's important. I swallowed hard. It is, isn't it? Very. After we hung up, I stood in front of the mirror. I looked the same, but something was different. My eyes no longer begged. They dared. He showed up unannounced. I was in the office kitchen pouring coffee when I heard a commotion at the front desk. Miss, you can't go in there, the receptionist warned. Then I heard his voice. Get out of my way. I just want to talk to her. My stomach dropped. I turned the corner and there he was, Ethan. Rumpled suit, red eyes, jaw tight. Seriously? I said, standing my ground. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. You shouldn't be here. I know, he said, stepping closer. But you won't answer my calls. That should tell you something. Please, his voice cracked. I didn't know where else to go. I crossed my arms. Try Sophie. She left, he muttered, took the money and disappeared. I almost laughed. Poetic. She said I was broken. He gave a bitter smile. Maybe I am. Maybe, I said. He looked around. So, this is your new world? Nice, quiet, clean, and peaceful. That part matters. I miss your voice, he whispered. I blinked. You didn't even listen when you had it. I know I ruined everything. No, I said calmly. You didn't ruin everything. Just what we had. I can't sleep. Neither could I said. For years. He looked at me, then dropped his gaze. I thought you'd come back. I did, I replied. To myself. He moved closer. Do you hate me? No? He looked up, surprised. Then why won't you talk to me? Because I don't care enough to. He flinched. I wasted so much time loving you, I said. But now I look at you and feel... nothing. I was scared, he muttered. I didn't know how to love someone like you. Someone loyal. Someone real. I'm not your tragedy, Ethan. I'm your lesson. He ran a hand through his hair. You're really done? I nodded. Completely. He swallowed hard. Is it him? Caleb? This isn't about him. This is about me. He stepped back slowly. I didn't think you'd change this much. I didn't either. You're cold. No, I said. I'm healed. He stood there a moment longer, then turned to leave. Goodbye, Ethan. He looked over his shoulder. I really did love you in my own way. I know, I said. That was the problem. As soon as he left, I ducked into the hallway, my legs weak. Caleb was standing there, watching silently. You okay? He asked. I nodded. I think I just buried a ghost. He stepped closer. Want to talk about it? No, I said. I already said everything I needed to. Proud of you. I met his eyes. I'm proud of me too. I found it tucked inside an old notebook, creased, faded, and written in ink that had started to bleed. My handwriting. My pain. I stared at it for a long time before I whispered, I forgot about you. That night, I invited Caleb over. Not for wine, not for comfort. I want to show you something, I said as he stepped inside. He followed me to the kitchen. I placed the letter on the table like it was a confession. He sat down quietly. What is it? A letter I wrote to myself, years ago, when I felt invisible. He nodded. Do you want to read it to me? I swallowed hard, unfolded it, and began. I don't want grand gestures. I want someone who looks at me when I'm not speaking. Someone who holds my hand because they want to, not because they're told to. Someone who doesn't make me feel like I'm asking too much just by existing. My voice broke. Caleb reached for my hand but didn't speak. I want to be chosen, not tolerated, not pitied. Chosen, fully, loudly, without question. Silence followed. I lowered the paper. I wrote that in the middle of the night. I was crying so hard the ink smeared. He leaned forward. You were begging to be seen. I didn't think anyone ever would. He squeezed my hand. You don't have to beg anymore. I'm still scared, I admitted. Even now. Of what? Of loving again and losing myself again. You're not the same girl who wrote that letter. No, I said. I'm someone who finally believes she deserves more. He nodded. You do? Then why does it still hurt sometimes? Because healing doesn't erase memory, it rewrites it. I took a deep breath. That letter used to feel like a wish. What does it feel like now? A promise, I said, to myself. Caleb reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded note. I wrote one too, after I met you. My eyes widened. You did? He handed it to me. I unfolded it. She has no idea how rare she is. If I ever get the chance, I'll spend my life proving it to her. Tears welled up. You never gave this to me? I was waiting until you were ready. I'm still not sure I am. That's okay, he said. I'm still here. I stood and walked around the table, knelt beside him, and pressed my forehead to his shoulder. I don't know what this is, I whispered, but I want to find out. We'll figure it out together, he said softly. And in that moment, I believed him. I don't want a big dress, I told Caleb. He looked up from his coffee, smirking. I don't want a big anything. No guests, no church, no aisle, just peace. Say the word, he said, and I'll marry you barefoot under a tree. I smiled. That's exactly what I want. And that's exactly what we did. The day was warm, quiet. The vineyard hummed softly with bees and life. I wore a pale linen dress, simple and soft. My hair down, no veil, no heels, just me. Ava handed me a bouquet of wildflowers. You sure you don't want to walk into music? This silence is music, I whispered. Lana hugged me. I've never seen you look like this. Like what? Like you're already home. Caleb waited beneath the old oak tree, barefoot like he promised. His shirt sleeves were rolled, his tie loose. When I reached him, he took my hand. You ready? He asked. I was born ready, I whispered. I just forgot for a while. Ava officiated. No fanfare, no speeches. Do you, with nothing forced, take each other as you are? She asked. I do, Caleb said. I looked into his eyes. I do. We sealed it with a kiss. Not rushed, not rehearsed, just real. After we sat under the tree while Ava and Lana opened a bottle of sparkling cider nearby. Did you ever think it would end up like this? Caleb asked me. No, I said, but that's what makes it perfect. A soft breeze carried the scent of the vines. I closed my eyes. You okay? He asked. I was just thinking, I said. About what? How I once stood in front of another man in a white dress, shaking with doubt. And now, here I am. No makeup, no audience. But I've never been more certain. He leaned closer. You sure you don't regret not doing the whole big wedding? I don't need to prove anything to anyone, I said. This is enough. Ava walked over, laughing. Someone left a gift on the table. No card, just an envelope. Lana picked it up, inspected it. No name, just blank. I froze. Let me see. She handed it to me. I opened it slowly, empty. No note, no check, no message, just an envelope filled with silence. It's him, I said. Caleb frowned. Ethan? I nodded. It's his goodbye. Are you okay? Lana asked. I stared at the envelope. Yeah, I think I finally am. Caleb took it from my hand and walked over to the small bonfire we'd built earlier for the evening. Without a word, he tossed it into the flames. I didn't ask him to burn it, I said. You didn't need to. We watched the fire crackle. The envelope curled, blackened, disappeared. Closure, Lana whispered. No, I corrected. Freedom. That night, under the stars, Caleb and I sat on the porch of the vineyard house. He took my hand. You're different now. I'm me now. He smiled. So what should we call this wedding? Our own, I said. No labels, just love. I sat by the window, wrapped in a sweater Caleb had left draped over the chair. The vineyard was quiet this morning, still blanketed in soft fog. My tea steamed between my hands. "You're up early," Caleb said behind me. I didn't turn. Couldn't sleep? Not in a bad way, just thinking. He walked over, kissed the top of my head. "About what?" "The girl I used to be." He sat beside me. "You miss her." "No," I whispered, "but I honor her." Caleb was quiet. "She begged. She cried. She tried so hard to be enough for someone who never wanted her. And even though it almost destroyed her, she still held on. She was strong. She was desperate." "Sometimes desperation is strength in disguise," he said gently. I looked down into my tea. "Do you remember the first time you saw me? I remember you apologizing for someone else's mistake. I remember wondering how someone so kind could look so lonely." I nodded. I was. Lonely. Even when I was surrounded by people. "You're not anymore." "No, but sometimes I still feel echoes of her. Like she's watching me, afraid I'll go back." "You won't." "I won't," I repeated. We sat in silence for a while, watching the fog lift. "I had this dream last night," I said. "I was standing in front of that old mirror in the wedding dress again, but this time I smiled at her." "What did she do?" "She cried, then disappeared." Caleb reached for my hand. "That's beautiful." It felt like a goodbye. He looked at me. "And now?" "Now I'm reborn. Not new, just awake." I think that's better than new. I leaned my head on his shoulder. "Do you ever fear I'll wake up one day and regret everything?" "No," he said, "because you didn't run to me. You ran to yourself. I was just lucky enough to be waiting there." I smiled. "You always say the right thing." "Only because it's true." I looked out at the sky. I used to think winning meant getting him back, making him see what he lost. And now? Now I see winning means not needing that anymore. My peace is louder than any revenge. He nodded. "That's what healing looks like." I turned to him. "I don't want a fairy tale, Caleb." "I know. I want something that stays." "I'm not going anywhere," he said. "You don't have to be perfect, just present." Tears welled in my eyes. "I'm not afraid anymore." He kissed my hand. "Then you're free." I stood up, opened the window, and let the breeze in. The vineyard stretched out like a new beginning waiting to be lived. I whispered to myself, "I'm finally home